Have you ever felt like you're trying so hard to do everything right? You're trying to get your life on track to become whatever version of yourself it is that you think you should have become by now. But somehow every attempt just turns into one more thing that you're failing at. You're trying to eat better and move more and get enough sleep, be more organized, be more patient, be more kind, be more calm, be more present, be a better mom, be a better wife, be a better partner, be a better friend or employer or sister or employee. You're just trying to be a better version of yourself, whatever that means right now. But instead of feeling better, you just end up feeling more exhausted, more overwhelmed, more depleted, more behind, more like, what the hell is actually wrong with me? Why can't I just get this figured out? Today, I'm going to help you to stop spiraling into the idea that your whole life needs fixing. I'm going to show you how to pause, cut through that overwhelm, and identify your next best step in feeling better and actually getting to where you want to be. This is not a complete life overhaul. This is not another plan that's going to make you feel like you're failing before you even get started. I'm going to show you that one next step that helps you to feel calm, clear, capable, competent, and like you're actually moving forward again. Because the reason that you're feeling like things are so hard right now is not because you're broken. It is not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't have enough discipline or there's something wrong with you. It's because you're trying to build a better life while treating yourself like you're a problem that needs to be fixed. Today, I'm going to walk you through three things. Why the standard that you're trying to live up to is absolutely absurd, so that you can stop assuming that your exhaustion or frustration means that you're failing. I'm going to show you how self-improvement can quietly turn into a form of self-rejection so that you can recognize when growth has actually become just another way that you're beating yourself up without even realizing it. But I'm also going to give you one really simple and effective practice that you can start now and use anytime you need to, when everything just feels like it's too much, so that you can just stop trying to fix your whole life all at once and never feel like you're getting anywhere in the process. And that last part matters because insight, it's not enough. You need a tool that you can actually use the next time that you're feeling overwhelmed, that you're feeling behind, like you're feeling your whole life needs fixing. I'm Jenny Tonin, and I have spent the last 15 plus years learning all about health and nutrition, mindset, productivity, healthy habits, spirituality, energy, and all of the things that actually help myself and the women I work with to create a better quality of life. And I work with women over 40 that are looking to feel better and look better from the inside out. But when it comes to this conversation we're having today, well, I know this pattern intimately because I lived like this for way too long. And if you're struggling with this, I want to help you solve that now. I would describe myself in many ways as a recovering self-improvement addict. And I'm not trying to make light of the term addict, but I have worked endlessly on trying to fix my body, to fix my business, to fix my routines and optimize my habits and perfect my mindset and heal my emotions and improve my discipline and refine my purpose and optimize my health. I mean, the list goes on and on. And most of what I learned, it truly helped me. But there's a level of this that we need to talk about because some of what I was trying to do was absolutely tangled up in a level of shame, of lack of self-acceptance. And I didn't recognize that in myself until I saw this pattern continually starting to come up in the thousands of women that I've worked with at this point. But the shame, that's the part that we really need to talk about today, because that's the part that quietly drains the life out of us. But before we get into that whole self-improvement rabbit hole that I have dove down countless times, we need to start by talking about the standard that you're trying to live up to. But before we talk about the self-improvement rabbit hole that I have dove down more times than I care to count, we need to talk about the standard of life that you're trying to survive in. So let's be clear. When you're working on yourself, when you're trying to improve some aspect of your life, be that your health, your weight, your mindset, your finances, your relationships, whatever it is, you're not doing that inside of a vacuum. You are a real woman living a real life with real responsibilities. And the amount that us women in modern society are expected to carry, the load that we are expected to carry right now, well, I'm just going to say it. The amount of responsibilities we have is absolutely absurd. You are supposed to work like you don't have a family, and then you're supposed to raise your family like you don't have a job, and you're supposed to keep your house together like you have this army of invisible staff. You're supposed to stay attractive like you have 2 hours for a beauty routine, and you're supposed to eat well and sleep well and move your body, manage everybody's emotions, not just your own. You're supposed to maintain this ideal relationship and make beautiful memories, heal all your past traumas. You're supposed to find your purpose and then work on it tirelessly. You're supposed to stay grateful in the process, be calm, be fun, be sexy, be spiritual, be deep, be wise, be helpful. And you're supposed to do this somehow without being exhausted or resentful or reactive or overwhelmed or feel like a complete hot mess when things just aren't working. And that whole hot mess thing that has been my reality for since as long as I can remember. Well, I think this is why that whole hot mess thing exists. It's not because we're weak. Absolutely, far from it. But it's because that load that we're trying to carry is absurd. I'm going to say that word again. And honestly, like that whole thing that was, I don't even know if it's still a thing anymore, but like when women were being called Karens on the internet all over the place, honestly, maybe that didn't just appear out of nowhere. Maybe that whole Karen term, which I don't even like at all, but maybe that's simply what happens when a woman has swallowed all of her needs. She has had to stuff down and try to ignore and suppress her resentment, her exhaustion, and her real self, and her real needs, and her real desires, and her real feelings for decades. And then one day, suddenly, seemingly out of nowhere, it just comes flying out sideways at somebody at the grocery store who looked at her wrong. So before you decide that you need another plan to fix your life or another reset or another challenge or another protocol or another way to fix yourself, I want you to first ask yourself, like, am I actually failing? Or have I been trying to succeed inside a standard that does not work for any real human life? And this is where things get messy, because when you believe that you're the problem, every solution just starts to become another way that you're trying to fix yourself. Like you're broken. You're not. And that brings us to the self-improvement trap. And I need to be really clear here. I am not anti-growth. I love evolving as a human. I love working on my growth, my self-development. I love becoming an evolution. I love being a little bit better today than I was yesterday. I'm never going to stop wanting to find a better way of living. That's just part of what I'm about. I love health and I love vitality. I love learning and stepping into my purpose and the idea that we can be empowered to create a better life. No matter where we're starting from, we can do that for ourselves. That lights me up inside. I am all for that. So this is not me saying, sit on the couch and eat Cheetos and pretend that that's self-love. Not at all. That is not what I mean. But the thing is that I don't hear anyone talk about is that there is a version of self-development that comes from self-respect. And there is a version of self-development that comes from shame. And that's not the same thing. So when we feel shame when it comes to our food, when we feel shame when it comes to our fuel, it becomes pressure. Exercise becomes a form of punishment. Are we able to live up to the standard or not? Rest becomes something you have to earn. Self-care becomes another chore, and your body becomes some never-ending DIY project that always feels 5 steps behind. Your life becomes some checklist that you just can't keep up with, and growth simply becomes one more way to prove that you're falling short. And the painful truth is that almost all of us women aren't trying to improve ourselves because we love ourselves. In my work on myself and with the beautiful women I have had the privilege of helping, well, I have learned that most of us are trying to improve ourselves because we don't feel like we're enough. And that's the part that we really need to be honest about. Growth from self-respect can build you. Growth from shame will drain you. And recently, this became painfully clear to me through something that happened in my own family. So I have an aunt that passed away recently, and there's a part of her story that I haven't been able to shake. I think I've thought about it every day in the 6 weeks or so since she passed away. So she lived the kind of life that a lot of people would look at and think, wow, like she had a dream life. She had a partner that loved her, and they had many, many wonderful years together. She had financial freedom, and then she lived in the most beautiful homes. She had homes different places in the world, and she literally got to travel the world. She had a life filled with adventure. She went to the pyramids and Machu Picchu and Sedona and Stonehenge. She literally sat with some of the most impactful and well-known spiritual leaders of our time. She had access to beauty and wisdom and healing and places and things that most of us will only dream about. And yet, at the end of her life, when she was really sick, just shortly, just a few days before she passed away, she was barely eating, and she commented how there was a part of her that was relieved because she was finally losing weight. Can't stop thinking about that, because when I hear that, I don't think that at all came from a place of vanity. I hear that as the tragedy of being a woman living in a world that teaches us that the final measure of our value, that our whole lives, that our bodies are that final measure of whether or not we're enough, whether or not we've done enough. She had so much, and still that old ache never left her, where she was hoping that finally she was enough. She was closer to that standard she'd always been trying to live up to, that she was finally acceptable. I don't hear that as vanity. I hear that as the tragedy of a woman in a world that teaches us our whole lives that the value of our bodies, I hear that as the tragedy of a woman in a world that teaches us our whole life that our bodies are the final measure of whether or not we are enough, if we're acceptable enough, if we've finally met that invisible standard that we all feel like we're always falling short of. She had so much, but yet there was still this ache, this maybe I'm finally enough. Maybe I'm finally acceptable. Maybe I finally reached that invisible milestone. And the truth is, I don't want that to be my story. And I don't want that for you either. So the answer cannot just be another diet, another reset, another protocol, or another wellness routine or challenge, another way to measure whether or not we're finally good enough. The question has to change. If this is hitting something for you and you know that you need some help starting your day from a better place instead of that not enoughness, well, I have a free guided 8-minute meditation called Align and Rise. You can do every day to help you come back to yourself before your life gets pulled in a million directions, because all of this isn't just about understanding the idea. It's about learning how to practice that pause. So you can grab that for free below. But right now, I want to give you the simplest version of a practice that you can use right now and anytime that you start feeling overwhelmed. And this comes from a fantastic book called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It by Kamal Ravikant. And I love this because it's not complicated. It's not another massive system, but instead the core idea behind, and I love this because it's not complicated. It's not some massive system. The core idea is that instead of scattering yourself across a million different self-help strategies, you return to one simple inner practice. So in the book, the phrase is, I love myself. And one of the most useful questions is, if I loved myself, what would I do? So you simply ask yourself, and that helps you turn self-love into something practical. It becomes a decision-making filter. But for a lot of us, talking about how we love ourselves can feel somehow cheesy or fake or uncomfortable somehow. So I have switched around the question a bit, and I ask myself, if I actually believed that I was worth caring for as much as I care for all of those around me, what would I do next? So the next time you feel overwhelmed, the next time you feel like you're spiraling or failing, or like you just aren't doing all the things that you're trying so hard to do, step one is to name the spiral. Catch yourself. When everything starts feeling like it's too much and it's all coming in at you from a million directions, simply pause and recognize it and remind yourself that you're trying to fix everything at once. And that's not how life works. And that matters because now you can see the spiral instead of being consumed or swallowed by it. And then step two becomes ask the question. You simply ask yourself, if I believe that I'm worth caring for as much as I care about all the other things around me in my life, what would I do for myself next? Not what would I do if I hated my body, or not what I would do if I were panicking, and not what would I do if I had to prove myself to someone or something, not what would I do if I had to fix my whole life by Monday at 9 a.m. Simply, if I believed that I was worth caring for as much as I care about all the other things in my life, what would I do next? And the beauty of that question is, even if you don't fully believe that you're worth that care and love and nurturing and attention that all the other things in your life get from you, even if you don't fully believe that you're worth that, you're just asking from a place of, if I believe. So you don't have to totally be there yet. And then the next step is to simply choose one thing. One. Not 10, not a full life reset, not an overhaul, this is not some New Year's resolution where we're trying to optimize everything in our life all at once. One caring small step that you can do today. So maybe that's drink enough water. Maybe that's eat a real nourishing meal. Maybe that's get enough protein on your plate, or go for a 10 or 15-minute walk. Maybe it's go to bed earlier instead of scrolling, or clean that one counter or corner, send that one email, book the one appointment, get outside for 5 minutes, stop rewriting the whole plan and just get started on that one tiny little bit. Shame says overhaul everything. You're not doing anything right. Care says, let's just start here. And let me be clear. This is not magic. This is not one question that's instantly going to fix every single little thing in your life. But what it does is it interrupts the pattern. It stops you from scanning your entire life for that thing that's wrong. And it stops you from trying to change from a place of panic. And it helps you move from that place of overwhelm into one grounded action. And over time, that matters, because when you start building trust with yourself again, when you stop waiting until you're thinner or calmer or richer or more organized or more successful, you're already treating yourself like you're someone who matters, because you do. So this is not about lowering standards. It's about changing the energy behind them. It's about changing your motivation for why you're doing the things you're doing. You can still care about your body. You can still want better health or beauty, more energy or purpose or libido or better finances, more joy or love or money or growth or whatever it is that you're in search of. But the point is to stop hating yourself into motion. Don't make yourself the enemy. Don't turn your whole life into some kind of punishment project. So if you have been trying to get your life together and every attempt that you make just keeps you feeling overwhelmed, behind, stuck, or like you're failing, the answer isn't to fix everything all at once. The answer is simply to pause and to ask yourself, if I believed I was worth caring for, what would I do for myself next? Then just simply choose that one caring next step. That's how you begin to move again, not from shame, not from panic, not from I'm not enough yet, but from care. You can want more from your body without hating the one that you currently have. You can want more from your life without treating yourself like you're not enough right now. You can grow without abandoning who you truly are. You can become an evolution of yourself without making your old self the enemy. And maybe getting your life together, whatever that means, doesn't mean that you're fixing yourself. Maybe it begins with finally treating yourself like you're someone that's worth caring for. So let me know in the comments below, what's one caring next step that you can take today? And be sure to subscribe to this channel and like this video so that you can continue to get more honest conversations about health, what it's like as a woman over 40 to live in the middle of real life. Thank you so much for watching.